like me to bring something up for you? I haven't, but there's no point. I won't get
She was hatching the idea in her bedroom at the time I met her, and I've got to say, I think it's just the only way I can describe it is a unique blend of romanticism and steely determination that got her through.
So would it help if one of us came up and helped take over for a bit? Yeah, if you did that, then I might get a chance to eat. That'd be brilliant, thank you.
Last-minute preparations at London's Albert Hall for last year's Mobo Awards, an event celebrating music of black origin. My name's June Sarpong, and aside from being a TV presenter, I'm a huge fan of Mobos. So what kind of person is Kanya King? First, Terry Mansfield again, then the opinion of three other key industry figures in her story. Henk Elzenga, John Wolgamoth, and Déj Mahoney.
When I first met her and we talked,
Very bright, open. By bright, I mean sort of physically and visibly bright, as well as sort of sparky bright in terms of ideas and so forth. And very friendly, approachable. I mean, obviously over time and sort of swimming in a pool of sharks has made her a little bit more wary than when I first met her. But those are kind of the sort of immediate impressions that come across.
Now, of course, having an idea and making it into reality are two very different things. What Kanya needed was some support. Déj Mahoney was Vice President of Business Affairs at Sony Music at the time the Mobo Awards were launched. He recalls the impression she made on him when they first met.
She looked very young and sort of bright-eyed and enthusiastic, which can be a dangerous combination in our game. She did look like she needed help, and she didn't look like she was proud to ask for it either. She was very much introduced to me as somebody who needed help, and she then rang my office for the next 3 weeks quite tenaciously, leaving messages and never giving up until I, finally responded to her calls and, gave the usual excuses of having been a bit busy. Because, you get a lot of people kind of ringing up asking you for help. Very much got a sense of, she needed allies on the inside of the record business, which can be a bit of a closed shop.
So much I want to show you, I'll take you high.
So what was the black music scene like in 1996?
At that point, black music, urban music, whatever you'd like to call the genre, was not nearly as prominent or as mainstream as it is today.
Déj Mahoney, former executive of Sony Music.
There was this opportunity to create a platform that the record companies would actually be drawn to with a view to actually promoting and selling their own music of that genre. So, if you look back and think within 2-3 years, Kanye had Puff Daddy, as he then was, one of the biggest R&B and hip-hop stars on the planet, performing at the Royal Albert Hall at the Mobo event with every chairman of the mainstream record industry present. And that was a huge achievement. I know Kanya very well, and I've known her right from the beginning of the Mobos, and it's still a bit of a mystery to me as to how she managed to get it off the ground and how she manages to pull together a very complicated show every year, which is, like all these things, fraught with logistical nightmares, artist tantrums, and the whole thing. She was hatching the idea in her bedroom at the time I met her, and I've got to say, I think it's just the only way I can describe it is a unique blend of romanticism and steely determination that got her through. I know that at various points in time, she has been left hugely exposed financially by people in whom she had put an awful lot of trust. And quite frankly, if you're running an organisation like the Mobos, you do have to delegate and you can't keep an eye on absolutely everything. And every now and then, she has been let down horribly.
So here I am, and I'm ready to talk all through the night.
Mobos were an event, an organisation that was embraced by what I think people refer to as the black community. And it also was particularly youth orientated as well. And so having built it from scratch to such a recognizable, prominent brand that represented so many facets of a particular sector of society, I think Kanya had done very well, and she was recognized for doing that in a very short space of time.
The UK was perhaps a very different place in 1996.
The red carpet starts at 6:15.